Thousand Tui. The wind looks ahead. Public boat, VISA just shed tears and thought. I don't know why. My tears couldn't stop at all. Visa remembers that glorious past. The things that happened. Until later. The old Visa sees the empire grow. To understand, the tears can't stop. They're not building boats today. It's about writing history. The wind is still standing there. Motivation for everyone. In the City of Kings, Ellie and Lao Fong are sitting at work on the table. Just saw the papers. The wind just said, document approving the boatyard core bonus. You can give it to Uncle Iakin tomorrow. Lee said yes. There is a little sadness in her heart. Thinking is actually probably not. I still remember the shame. I learned to dance during the day. Ellie looked at the paper cover. My mouth is a little embarrassed. I have that this afternoon. She looked at the shameful little girl. How was this afternoon? Ellie swooped in and moved on to something else. The red face says, this afternoon Hai Dim was transferred to the Izina has been favorable to King Hai match together. She returned with Princess Gil of the Lawson Empire. When you are finished listening, Izina has returned to the city of matches Sao. The Lin team is coming. You're ready to finish. Welcome to business too. Ellie picked up the tea. Pretend to drink to cover up the embarrassment. Don't worry. You and Nicola have arranged it. Maybe the young master is not curious about the Princess Kier, Sao. Stay close to LG. I hope you are curious. This Australian Ellie flushed rock face replied that I didn't have it. The wind is getting closer and closer to pressing Ellie raw chair. A little hasty voice called Ellie. Liu Feng's actions confused Eli. In America's mind, you really don't want to be here. Deadly shame. The wind was getting closer and closer to the deep voice. If the Kier traders are coming. Liu Feng suddenly gave out a file-high voice. Give this letter to the fishermen. Allow the princes. The queen of the kingdom was detained in ancient Kingland, to the city of Trongin. Ellie was afraid to hold the letter. The young master just asked me to get this letter. Save the high-interest answer, otherwise Sao. This action of Liu Feng made Li angry. I actually saw that I made a number today. Should deliberately tease me. Ellie got up and left. The young man is so evil. The guard suddenly held his right hand, and Ellie held back. Ellie Sao, so strange that I never pay attention to you today. At this moment, Ellie turned around and hugged her tightly. Ellie was confused. It's not that I didn't let you go. I have to send a telegram urgently. Don't let Kier's beautiful lips finish. Lao Feng gently kissed Kier's small lips. Ellie trembled and dropped the thing. Was kissed a long time. Ellie turned her head. Get rid of those lips that are hard to breathe. His face was red. People come to the living room at any time. Still hugging Li Feng. I told you to check everyone. So there's no AI tonight? Evil exile takes off Ellie's shirt. Ellie didn't resist, but she kept talking. The young man is not ashamed. The evil exile voice said, I just want to check my dance performance. In the morning. Ellie no longer went to dance school. The next morning, the sky was clear blue and white. The wind is soft. Hayo soared above the port of Haidim. The workers are rushing to work. Izina and Princess Gil are here. To observe the situation, Izina ordered her worker spirit blonde. Long, silky, shiny. Precious goods and sample products for your majesty. Send people directly to the spacecraft. The remaining goods. Put it in the warehouse at the port. The 3 generals will arrange transportation. Blonde worker approves order reply. Yes, Lord Izina. Izina makes an offer to Princess Gil. I'll be here for a while. Are you interested in going for a walk with me? Princess Gil was delighted to be able to. So Izina took Princess Gil on another tour. You two walk around looking around. Princess Gil inquired. It's not that Izina works for the order of the Sao. Why not even a carriage? Izina replied. In a busy port. The car is not convenient to traffic, so normally I'll tell them to stop outside the port. Princess Gil couldn't understand. Suddenly, she saw something with 4 pies spewing smoke in front of her. She asked Izina again what a car is. It's black smoke. Sao, she laughed, that's right. A guard in black came down. Bowing hat, respectfully salute Izina Princess Gil. Izina said there was no need to celebrate. Gil looked at the car in front of her. It looks like a big insect. That's bad. Just out of port. Princess Gil stopped for 15 seconds. Eyes glistening in wonder. This place is beautiful. Right now, in front of her appeared the magnificent high-rise buildings. Busy Izina is proud to say that it is so beautiful. Then you two stand together for 5 seconds. On the street, 2 young people just left, just humming the melody of the song together. Princess Gil, 2 eyes glitter children. They don't leave the clothes they're wearing. She exclaimed, looking at their clothes, they must be nobles. Maybe the noble brains of the Han dynasty all worked on their own. Sao Izina only directed her gaze at the merchants. And workers are on the road. Then explain it to Princess Gil. They are ordinary people. Because they're dressed in a very good state of mind. One is that there are many job opportunities in the Han dynasty. People don't worry about dressing. Izina face full of self. He continued to eat it warm. This is an important goal of His Majesty. He's done a lot for this. Second, it's a trading city. Most of them are very wealthy traders. Princess Gil looked up at Izina. In her head, aesthetic Izina. This is why she stayed. Why do you have sympathy for him without knowing it yourself? Are drowning in thought. Suddenly, there was a fragrance. The princess sat for an hour. Then you just walk away. To the call of this fragrance. The black guard called her back, but she didn't notice. Princess Gil, where are you going? At this moment, Ina is still thinking about your majesty as work. Save Feng. Then the black guard called out to Master Izina. What to do? Princess Gil seems to be attracted to something and runs away. When Izina looked back, she saw that Gil had gone a long way. Izina order. The road and the people in the city are quite complicated. You chase her before I find help. Black guard scales yes. And run ahead. Izina hurried to find help. In her mind, you aesthetic is the guest of the Han dynasty. If she gets lost, there will be a diplomatic incident. Bring trouble to save His Majesty Niu. I was attracted to something. Attractive aroma, Kier. He took Princess Gil to a restaurant. She has 2 bright eyes talking to herself. Never expected before. In this world, someone caught my eye so deeply. In front of Princess Gil is a young man. Two face, dress politely. Food dishes with smoke in their hands. Princess Gil said, I finally found you. The bewildered young man asked. This guy hasn't finished yet. Princess Gil came to embrace me. Her cheeks are pink. Close your eyes and say, The lover of my dreams. This gentle young man is on fire. Startled screaming grown up. Gil, it's Gil. She is the princess of a country. Can you stamp it again? In the middle of the morning sky. Hugging people's sons. It's true, a little bit of integrity. That's it. Admin. I thought Princess Gil ran after food. But otherwise Ra is beauty. At the same time, everyone, they are looking for Princess Gil. Izina is talking to the man in the blue shirt. The black guard shouted from a distance. Lord Izina has found Princess Gil. Igina looked back so good. Take her back quickly. The black guard was confused. You'd better go see it yourself. In the diner, all the people are staring in wonder. They whisper about. The bald uncle said with his mouth open, "You're better than me." The red shirt waiter was also surprised. Years in the profession. The first time I saw this scene, I must say. It's very bad for you, green shirt tourist, round eyes. It's the first time I've ever met an edible spirit. Cute animal girl is also surprised to say Oa. She's a woman too. Right now, the black guard and Izina were also present at the restaurant. Oh my god. 012 for years. Princess Gil has eaten 5 supersized pizzas. The giant, and now she's making her way to the 6th cake. It took 5 seconds for the two of you to see that. Next to the black shirt, recounted Master Izina. When we found Princess Gil, he's eating a lot at the pizza place. Completely relentless, Izina thought to herself. I was attracted to pizza. Saw Igina go to Princess Gil holding a pizza in her right hand. The left hand holds a glass of water on the affected face. My mouth is chewing. It's like being hungry for a long time. You said Isanako's here. This pizza is so delicious. When Princess Gil ate so much, she asked. Good pizza though, but eating so much is really bad. Princess Gil put a glass of water on the table. Don't worry. I've only eaten 8, and I can eat more. And then suddenly, Princess Gil stood up, clenched onto Isina's hand with a grin, and said, I heard that the pizza shop in Chong'an has the best pizza. Han Dynasty. Can we go to Chang'an immediately? Igina blue face meet B. Your hands are all oil. Don't touch them. Already said. Izina with Princess Gil. Prepare to go to the yacht area. To go back to school. See the boat. Princess Gil's eyes sparkled with wonder. Hesitated to say, This is the spacecraft that Igina said, Sao. It can actually fly into the sky. It's safe in the air. No, Izina proudly replied she didn't have to worry. It's very safe. It's fast. After 2 or 3 hours, we can go to Chang'an. Princess Gil's face was filled with excitement. She cosmetology delicious pizza. Beautiful city spaceship. If I could share these things with my father. The mother is good. Suddenly, you have another thought. Wait, there's a spaceship. And then Princess Gil said, Igina, I've decided. What is Igina ready to ask? Princess Gil replied, I want to buy a spaceship. In the princess's head right now, I'm probably imagining how much. Always newspaper. There are 2 young animals here. Orange-haired name, like a lion, says 2 Taurus 3. Niu 3 General. How much does this ship cost? The blonde behind the worried face. With hands on the orange hair. He faltered. Here. Then he whispered in the lion's head's hand. I forgot about Sao. All the money we pay for saving. Cam-haired head screams at blonde shut up. Money can be earned back. Think about this ship. We can play anywhere we want. It's not comfortable. The blonde laughed stupidly and replied, "It's the season." Then the lion's head returned smiling to the fisherman. He told the three generals to talk. Fisherman 3 laughed. "About the sale of spacecraft. You must speak to your majesty in person. The price is not expensive now. Exchange $2 about $1 billion ba." I finished listening to two names. Orange and blonde turned to look at each other. Like stupid little boys. Haircam says, "Now you've got 2 territories a year, about 550,000. The blonde says, "I only have 450,000 a year." Hands up, mouth murmuring calculation. After a careful calculation. 2 blue guys with open mouths. White eyes no longer see the black heart screaming. "I can't eat or drink 135. I can't buy it." These 2 guys turned around pretending to blame the ship. The orange-haired guy coughed a little and said that, "I don't think this spacecraft is very practical. We should still hurry to Chenggen." The orange-haired guy also spoke up. "I think it looks a little bad. I don't like it." The general laughed, of course. "Your Majesty has also spoken to private buyers. The ship is not practical, so you two should think carefully. Let's get on the plane." Say and save 3 turns people leave. The 2 animals saw Niu 3 leave. Net tears of regret. They want to turn into a monster. Transfer scene 2. The opening ceremony of Trong and City car station. The crowds are coming. Standing in line under the stands. They're just looking at modern cars. The best way to talk to each other. This is a car station that's in SAO propaganda. Look at the car behind the glass. It's bigger than in the newspaper. People like us. You have the opportunity to sit in a car. This isn't a dream. He quickly put his hand in front of his mouth. Sharkskin spray. Stop making noise, Your Majesty. To walk proudly on the stage. The whole population was screaming. I can't hide my pride in you. They shouted, Your Majesty. Hello, Your Majesty, it's cool. Turn your face to the people. With a bright smile. Then raise your hands to signal for people to stop screaming. Then I'm happy to speak. Everyone, the Peace City car station is about to open. I know people are curious about car stations. Can't wait to come in. Some opening greetings. I'm going to say a few less sentences. People listen to these words of the Lord. Then laugh endlessly, because it's so true of what they think. Pink dress girl. Eyes full of delusion, staring at the wind. It's embarrassing to say. Why, we like you so much. I won't blame you for talking too much. The blue-haired man agreed with the girl. Immediately speak up. Yes, Your Majesty, please say a few more words. To satisfy the will of the people. To save the wind and withdraw from the people of the district preserve. You smile and say that. I just want to say a few words. If people are that enthusiastic. So, I'm going to say, according to the script that Nicola wrote. Said and save the district draft raw. It stretches for kilometers. To the tall building in front of you. People are a little scared right now. They withdrew their words earlier. The Taurus guy, just cheering for the exile, continued to say, now laugh, except. Your face says, oh. Your Majesty really did it. The cat also caught fire when he looked at the scroll. He hurried to stop His Majesty. Don't. There was talk in the newspaper about the bus station 3 days ago. I've been waiting for days. The brown guy standing next to me also spoke up. Your Majesty is handsome, but I'm still more curious about cars. Laughing, I just teased everyone. After the speech is over, is to go to the dedicated tape storage section. You hold the scissors, decidedly cut a basic herd into the red ribbon. 2 hands raised up to announce you. Trong and City Car Station. It's officially business today. Now everyone applauds at the same time. They're screaming endlessly. Fire from the floor was also fired. To celebrate this beginning, people who are heavy start moving inside the car station. They can't hide their joy. This eagerness to wait. Go and talk to Oa. Come on in. I've wanted your car for a long time. I can't believe I was in a car when I was alive. My car is here. Stand in the audience watching the people. Then he turned and said Nicola and Mina had arrived. Just sit and watch, Mina excitedly asked the young master. The station chief's ready to give us a big bus. Are we going to try it? That's it, and the American Army to the bus station. The station chief was delighted. He bowed his head to welcome them. The uncle's face was a little confused. Perhaps it was the time I met you and said hello. Hello, Your Majesty, where do you want to go? Liu Feng gave a friendly smile and reassured the school station. It's comfortable. There's no need to celebrate how this train goes. You just drive like that. The station chief is less nervous. Smiling at the wind. Tell us about the route of the trip. Yes, Your Majesty, I will introduce you. This car, along the belt around the city of Trong and around. And then out of the gate, the last stop is Somalia. Finished talking, the station chief gets in the car and gets everything ready. You just went to the salon. Your Majesty is as peaceful as rumored. Force spread. Now pull up your shirt and ask me. Young master. Maybe these public cars have a fixed route. Sao looked at the innocent face of Eft along with this question. Nicola giggled. She covered her mouth with her hand, related to public vehicles and route maps. It was actually published in the newspaper, but I didn't read it. Flay makes a face. She looked behind her back and answered. The wings have been a little bigger lately. I always practice flying, so I don't see it. Listen to that. Give Flay an explanation. Buses with routes. A fixed train carrying moving passengers. Just think of it as a special kind of carriage. In front of a total of 5 routes. It's a 10-minute trip. The early train is 6 hours. The last bus is 11 o'clock. News stations published in the newspaper. After hearing these words, play becomes more and more chaotic. 2 round eyes looking at everyone. And Sile has absorbed a new stream of knowledge. The 2 bright eyes looked at the wind and said, I see if it's in the old city. It's like working in a new city, maybe taking the bus. You don't have to compete with other people anymore. The smiling host replied yes. The expression on her face was a little tense, and she asked for advice. Young master, I have a problem. Suddenly, Mina Chen's words. She pointed to the bus window and continued. What are those numbers for? Save Feng replied. This is the license plate, even though the SAO bus is very similar. It can be distinguished by the number of cars. If there is a special situation, you can find the person in charge of the car immediately. He walked up to me smiling proudly. This license plate, the young master and I designed it. Mina praised you 5 very beneficial. While everyone is talking, Flay got in the car to explore. His face seemed very excited. I turned my head and went out the door to urge everyone. This car is different from the car we normally sit in. Everybody come and see. The girls of Liu Feng were smiling brightly. Step on the bus. You 5 quickly select the location. I want to sit in front. Mina put her hand on Eli's shoulder and smiled. The young man once said, the middle position is the most stable. I want to sit in the middle of Nicola blushing. You just shy away from the back. Ra has an intention. I thought in my heart that I wanted to sit with you. Only the last stand is left. She looked back at him and asked him with a smile. Did you want to ask me something just now? I was surprised to ask you what you heard. 2 steps into the car to stabilize the seat position. I just scratched my head and scratched my ears. Express a question in your heart. It's the chariot in Schengen, that's enough. Now open this station. If after the business car station, affect the business of the carriage. There are not many people who have 7 jobs. I don't understand the exact story. If you say, wrong young master, don't say it. The host did not reply immediately. Praise the emperor. The problem you're talking about is so good. You've made a lot of progress lately. Hear that? The 2 eyes of the stilt glitter look at the wind and rejoice silently. The young master is praising himself, Sao. I didn't spend so much time studying. Liu Feng exists to explain the question of the emperor, the development of the car. It will affect the carriage. Regardless of the word safe, the car also outperformed the horse. Now small cars and buses. It's just 2 types of steam cars. There's a truck out there. Guide vehicles and specialized types of transport vehicles. From a development perspective, the future will be the world of cars. It's limited by the current level of technology. You can't produce a lot of cars. The price is too high for ordinary people to buy. But the future of cars is going to be in every home. So the chariot industry, if you want to keep growing, you have to find a new location. At the same time, we need good guidance. For 7 career employees, prepare for a new industry. So Nicola remembered something and said. Then point to the hand, as I cleaned the young master's room. Read the plan to develop the carriage industry. It seems to be aimed at these problems. My face is a little broken. The master soon thought of it. I'm worried for nothing. When he saw that, he spit up first. Put your hands on the bottom. With a warm smile and said softly. Why did your question give me a new feeling? I'm going to increase the structure. Training for 7 career employees. This action of the wind. It makes my feet red. She looked at him with an emotional look. Young Master C lay wistfully. He looked at the back of his face and smiled. United States, Your Majesty, and the leaders you met before. It's not like that. To the city of Trongen, it's the most accurate decision we've made. Along the way, the bus runs through a pretty smelly neighborhood. People are busy fixing something. Nicola covered her nose with an unpleasant expression. What are those people digging? It stinks. They seem to be immune to this smell. She scratched her head and said it wasn't bad. Force the infection immediately swept into the embankment. Put your face against your chest. Grimace your face. I can't stand it. Let me explain about this smell. They're renovating the waterway. The drainage system of Chang'an City is very chaotic. Discharge impurities and drain water together through years of accumulation. Accumulating a lot of trash that you can't wash. Mina sat motionless and said nothing. The smell has not reached its limit. Ellie is about to throw up too. She covered her nose with her hand. They're renovating the sewer below. He stroked Flay's hair and continued. There is something that everyone is assured of. After renovation of sewer and sewage sewer separated, this phenomenon will decrease when processed. Will be more convenient. In the rainy season, there will be no flood in the city. The CD is round with 2 eyes. This work is too useful. Your Majesty, harm. The nun turned down and looked at the sycamore and spoke. The young master's benefits are many. You will know later. Forced to look bewildered and ask. So the workers aren't that hard. Laughing, it's hard. But the treatment we gave was also very good. Ellie explained more details of the encyclical. 3 times the amount of dorm food supply. If it becomes the core, salary and benefits will increase. Previously, people registered a lot. We can't screen it. He turned to look at the ground and said, "That's right, for safety and support. When you go down to the water, you need to be safe. The new waterway is very wide. It covers the entire city of Chang'an underground. It's very easy to be a breeding ground and hide crime. We're sending reinforcements to Timothy. It probably won't target us directly, but I will definitely send the Black Yanjia to quietly observe. I'll give you the relevant documents when I get back. You choose one, a team of people in charge of maritime security." He looked excitedly at the wind. "Don't worry. When I returned, I arranged to receive it immediately. This place needs to be used. I don't have to be polite." Ellie and Flay unconscious, giving hands to chest. Both of their faces turned red. Sad eyes, with jealousy that's burning in my heart. "Big breasts are good." Smiling, he replied, "That's good." Move the scene to the castle where the princess resides. She's letting her hands play with the aquarium fish in the tank. He came to report on the situation, Your Majesty. Everything is prepared as you say. Something. Your enthronement ritual is really simple. The princess answered coldly. It's not a registration ceremony. After completely taking over the family. Did you take the old man out? Let's make sure he coordinates with our plan. Red Star, the smile said. Yes, he took Kier's medicine. It's just our dog now. Princess twinkling red eyes. She told the deacon to investigate. You can be as good as you are. Fight against the owner. Not careless. Then she turned and left and urged the deacon. Let's go. There's a play to play. The princess's face continued sadly. I can't believe I clearly hate the gods. One day, I had to borrow their power to become king. Go away, just achieve the goal. Whatever the trick is. Princess Adventure with pink defiance. Cold walk on the street. One of the soldiers hurried to the camp. To report the situation, Your Majesty in the city has basically restored order. It's been arranged for the victims. The princess replied coldly. Very well, the people passing by whispered endlessly. And she is Your Majesty. She's helping us get food. The princess looked on her face and thought in her heart. The old nobles of the family. I can't get to the table. Even the rice of the victims is eaten away. There is a good place in the middle. Suddenly, a little girl. I don't understand how to stand. He fell to the ground and made a sound of pain. The 8 guards in his hand were also thrown out. The princess flew by at the same time. I also have some soup on me. The photo took 5 seconds. They hold their breath and dare not say a word. Pink defaulting, quickly take the towel from inside Ra. He ran up to ask His Majesty. Who doesn't know? Is it hot? Princess Adventure coldly replied no sao. Not accepted. I just wiped the soup on the princess's dress. He shouted at the guards. What's going on? How do you protect the order of the scene? The guard faltered. Your Highness, this is just against your will. The child was sobbing. Afraid of trembling open mouth, constantly admit fault. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Angry guard. He pulled up his sleeve. Be ready to hit the crying little girl. His mouth is constantly on it. Dare to touch Your Majesty. So the princess yelled out loud and stopped. The child looked up at the princess. 2 rows of tears fell down. Adventure, look at it. I remember the picture of my little sister. She knelt to the ground. The table car contained some raw coins and said softly, Take this. Change some food. The child is not out of panic, He hesitates. I can't take it. The princess put the gold coins in her hand. The child's mouth continued. Just take it. Then you pick it up. She stopped crying too. It's holding these gold coins to its chest. Princess Adventure stroking her hair. Smiling softly said, Eat it if you want to thank me. Later, they learn a lot. A little dedication to the country. That's enough. Then she ordered the deacon to take her away. And the refugees there. She arranged for them to exchange food and shelter. Disobey orders, yes. Your Highness, the guard just stood there and laughed in his heart. I don't know if my performance will please you. Or not, the next play is the big one. So far out. It's just a play that Tim Moy arranged. Just for the people. But they don't know. So these kind gestures, the princess's last gentle adventure, scored in the hearts of the people. They can't help but wonder. Praise your majesty. Your majesty is so gentle. Your majesty has treated us well. It's not just about overthrowing the gods. He arranged the work for us. A hurried battle came. He ran and called out to his majesty. It's the great dove. His face was terrified and worried. When I met the princess, my eyes lit up. I finally met someone. The people around him kept looking at him. The blue-haired girl winced her face and said, Your Highness, the boss is as if crazy. I can't stop trying to meet the person I want to stop. I just met the princess. He fell on his knees to the ground, tears pouring out like streams. On the holy hand, start to present juicy flattery. Electric, no. My queen, my majesty. Client, last morning, the jailer told me. You are the most holy ruler of the future. Your family will be led by you. To become a powerful nation, people gathered around for to watch. They're amazing. Before flattering words to the blue clouds of the old god, I wonder what he said. He called his majesty the queen. The real Epiphany SAO client. Again, he just wants to hold on. Keep pressing us dry. But your majesty has treated us well. The princess's contemptuous face shouted, Get out, and threw a kick directly into the head teacher's chest. Make or fly against the corner. My mouth is filled with pain. Princess Adventure near voice. Don't think you said that. I will restore the status of the state religion of the gods. You ordered the soldiers. Take him back and increase the guard. Don't let him run out again. He was carried away by 2 soldiers. The look on his face was unbearable. He turned back and begged. Your Majesty, what I say is true. Your Majesty, you are my substitute. Only someone can save the family. It's all because of me when I had eye stitches. At this time, the guard also called. The princess frowned with suspicious eyes. How do you pray for the old man? Let him continue to plague everyone. The guard got down on his knees and put his hands on his chest and said, It is not your majesty that the gods have done evil. But I feel like what he said wasn't. It's completely unreliable. Your majesty has compassion for the people. Just like that, they deserve to be the queen of their family. Only your majesty can save my family. At this time, the people around also ran talking. Don't tell me, I was at the temple yesterday. I see a strange light. I thought I had eyes. Is it really God's will to say that? Is it true that God is the real God? It doesn't matter if it's a miracle or not. His Majesty dispenses food duty-free. How is the work different from God's? Even though I don't want to spend the days. As before. Suddenly, a woman knelt to the ground. At the end of the theater, I beg you. Please be our queen. That's what we need. Slowly, the whole crowd fell to their knees. The sound